Welcome back to Waterloo. Turn 29, 5:30 in the evening. Right, what do we got? Straight to north to Charleroi, and he's relentless. He's chasing me up with infantry and cavalry. Oh, I'm outnumbered as well, so I think I'm going to have to get out of there. Limber up some artillery. Got big old squadrons, lancers, hussars. Yeah, I need to get them out, otherwise I'm going to throw away my whole first corps reserve cavalry if I'm not careful. Get everybody out there as quick as possible. Get everybody up to melee. Having a fallback position up here, remember. And that's a long way up. It's a long way up. Although a lot of first corps are going to be there by the time he actually gets there. Gonna have to start. I was worried that I'm gonna have to start thinking about more scouts in this sort of area all around here. Sort of all around this. That's a very thick line. Just to keep an eye on anybody that's going to pop up. So I need scouts in this area here. Right, that's not what I want. So other than that, it's going to be business as usual. Bit of a boring time probably. Okay. Blue car up to Janap, not quite yet. I've sent my couriers to tell the Prince of Orange, just sort of that area there that you just saw. Start sorting out everybody at Marbay. Melee, there's a bit of sorting out to do as well, because First Corps are just all mixed up. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be a short, sharp turn this turn. As I said, there's going to be turns like that. So I'll get back to you in a few. Tell you what, moving 3 corps doesn't have to take quite a while, quite a long time, quite a lot of movement. As I said, not the most exciting turn, but I will keep you informed what we've done. This element of 2nd Corps, I think I told you last time, got the supply wagons out of the way just so I can let the troops past. I'm not going to need that supply today. Down towards sort of Tilly and Marbay. Everyone's arriving, so we're starting to sort them out. We've got our 4th Pomerish Regiment and 2nd Rhineland Regiment. We've got some Landwehr here as well, so they're just sort of going out to this high ground here. Now what I might have to do actually is, I will just show you that that's the sort of area that I'm going to occupy with them. I have to have a look though at my orders from Blucher, because they get there, but what they're going to do when they get there? Do they stay? Do they wait? They can't just use their own initiative to put a whole corps into a defensive position. That's something that needs Blucher. So let's have a look at what we said to them. Blucher to Wellington. We need Blucher to, what was his name? Boza. Up to Marbay, and align yourself with Pierce and 3rd Corps march with all haste. So I think I'm going to have to send a message to Blucher to say we've arrived at Marbay and adopt a defensive posture, something like that. I think that would be good, but we've sort of already said that. We've said we've begun arriving at Marbay, taking up a defensive position. I've said that already. Must have thought ahead. I think Blucher should send that as well. When he receives it in a couple of turns, then we can do that, because he won't know they're there yet. 3rd Corps elements, they're starting to arrive as well, and they're going to take up, see, I can't really go to, I can have lead elements, scouts, and maybe possibly some skirmishes and things like that, but they're going to sort of occupy this high ground, something like that, just until everyone gets there and we sort of see what the French are doing. Blucher said at Ligny, 3rd Corps well spread out, as you can see. This is all 3rd Corps here in sort of zigzag shape. Those elements of 2nd Corps, they're making really good ground. They are going up to Saint Martin, and they're going to go up that Bothay road up there. 1st Corps, the mess that is 1st Corps, here, there and everywhere. They're continuing to arrive at melee, sorting everybody out. We've got 2nd Westphalian, 2nd West Prussian, we've got some 2nd Westphalian Landwehr, 3rd Westphalian Landwehr, 2nd Bergisches, so yeah, we've got loads, odds and sods of everybody basically. So, and my fallback position at Gosselies and Lumey Managed to get some guns in position, and a couple of battalions are just going to sit back and make sure everyone gets out, especially my cavalry. French are in hot pursuit, trying to get these routed units out, but 5 men, not worth it. Cavalry, I did limber up that horse artillery just to get them back. I need an escape route for them. I think it's going to be through that gap. Therefore, I've got to time that well, because I'd expect. Well, what I'm planning is to bring them back through that gap under the protection of some Prussians here. However, I'm also expecting at that time for the French to push forward here as well. So I've got to time it right to try and get them back. Plan B would be to bring them up past that wood, but they've got a river there. Okay, we've got British cavalry there, but we don't know that. That would be my plan B. Other news. My scouts bumped into what I think, well, they are his scouts, definitely. Chasseurs Chevals, small squadron in the woods. Kind of expected something to be there at some point. So, I can't really do anything at the moment just because I had to bring up Hober. And it's 75 against 40, so I can't charge them because I haven't got a hex between. And I can't melee them because I could do. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I want to get my other squadrons out. Down towards Tagnay and right in the southeast corner. My scouts don't report anything down here. And what I'm doing is I've pretty much taken everybody back from a few skirmisher formations and Yagao himself in this sort of crossroads. And I'm going to replace them with 3 squadrons and Marvets. So they will be able to limited offensive capability if they see some lead elements. Everybody else from First Corps is packing up and getting on the road. Just a few elements remain to sort of get on the march. And that, gentlemen and possibly ladies, is about it for this turn. So it's looking quite good. The only sort of real action is coming with First Corps, and they've sort of pushed quite far ahead. We're going to have a recap at the end of next turn, just to see where he's at, and big picture stuff, war diary and all that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely one to savour. Just thinking, Ligny, what can I do? Second Corps, when are they going to get on the march? I did say when the last elements of Third Corps are sort of passing, but that's maybe 4 or 5 turns-ish, something like that. It doesn't have to be to Genappe until early morning, but there's quite a way to Genappe. And you have an escort, so it's not like he's going to get all the leader points, if that makes sense. He can't go 20 hexes or whatever leader can go. He's going to have a escort with him, so we're limited by what the escort can do. The other thing that I found really annoying, and it is my own fault, and I've had problems with them right from the start. Now where are they? Here, this bloody cavalry. Third Corps Reserve Cavalry. They keep getting disordered in towns and stuff. Even pathfinding, you know, I could right click up here, out and right click up here, and somehow they just decide to go to Flourish and then back up. And they were an issue right down here as well, passing all of the towns that they've passed. So, I don't know, maybe they're drunk. So I'm certainly not. Scouts, I suppose. Do we need them? No, they can start coming up as well. But they're First Corps scouts, not Third Corps. And that'd be annoying if I put them in the middle of the march. So I think I'll leave it there. Pretty well spread out. That is some good defensive ground, I think. We're well spread. However, we'll have at least 2 corps. Von Bülow's 4th Corps arriving from somewhere in that northeast corner. And probably some of First Corps. The remnants, so I have to leave a space for them to pass through. But there we go, that's my chosen defensive ground. Marbe. We'll see what happens. Welcome back, turn 30 then. So, getting on for about 10% of the turn. Sorry about the delay, just been a hectic week. I was given a polite reminder, it is my turn. And I had a couple of things to do today. Anyway, here we are. It's, as somebody mentioned, Mr. Brian Twist, it's about quality rather than quantity, and this was always going to be a long one, and I'd rather do it properly than rushed. You know, just because it's worth doing properly, I think. What do we got then? So this is the area north of Charleroi. Edging forward with this cavalry by the look of it. Hopefully get some... what's he got? Line troops. Possibly Déjà. Have a bit of a rear guard, I think. Got some random units that are just... yeah. Wouldn't mind getting them back. That's still 300 odd men, near enough. So and again, it's quite nice after a day or two coming back to it, or 3 or 4, and coming back to it, just because it gives you a fresh take on it. Oh, some movement there. Around melee, we had a bit of a mess, didn't we, with all of First Corps, trying to get them into some semblance of order. What do we got down here? That is elements of Second Corps, Third Corps on the march. They're still going up to Marbay. Okay, remind myself of what's going on with the courier system as well. Nothing this turn. Nothing this turn. However, next turn there is a couple of things coming, and that was just to tell the allies that what we're doing next to them, without sort of grand plan stuff, but just what we're actually doing 10 hexes from here, which is fair enough. As I said, I think it's realistic enough. That's about it, I think. Do I need to send anything? Not really. Second Corps, Third Corps getting up to Marbay, they kind of know what to do. I did think I mentioned that maybe to say get into a defensive position. Around melee, lead elements are starting to arrive. Could tell Blucher, I suppose. And that's it. I mean, there's no major revelations as to what I'm going to be doing now. It is the same plan. Second, Third Corps up to Marbay, First Corps up to melee. And maybe have a bit of a rear guard action around here. Not turning everybody around, but, you know, that's what they would do just to protect all these troops trying to get up, at least until we sort of clear Lumé. But I did have some guns at Lumé. Get up there. That's where we need to go. Okay, I'm going to crack on with that, and I'll catch you in a few. So we actually have a bit of a standoff with French cavalry and Prussian cavalry down to the north of Charleroi. I'm edging mine back and back and back, and just trying to hope that he doesn't have a go, because he will. I mean, wow, we're on about 2 to 1 probably. He has got smaller squadrons, granted, but he does have a lot of lancers. He's got more horse artillery than I do. Slowly but surely, I'm going to bring them back and then get them round there up towards Lumé. That's the plan. That's the plan. A lot of disorganised units down here. That's why I can't really go up as far as I'd like to there. But he doesn't have a lot of units there at the moment. However, we don't know what's going to happen next time. Let's try and get them back. Oh, it's not good. Okay, fair enough. Some units going up towards melee. Other units are including quite a lot of artillery. I'm going to have about 4 batteries there. To join Zeaton at that rear guard, just to get these last remaining troops out, and more importantly the cavalry back. That's what I'm hoping for. He could pursue. What time are we at? 5:45 in the evening. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, he's going to have a lot of troops down here somewhere. I don't know if they are Châtelet, if they're Charleroi, if they're to the southwest, if they're to the southeast. I don't know. Do have some scouts though. We've got some scouts here. Bring them across to some high ground. We'll have a look over here. As I was going through everyone, I remembered these scouts had bumped into these chasseurs cheval in the woods, and they were just basically a little standoff. He didn't go do anything with them. I didn't do anything with them because I wasn't going to do anything until I brought down the rest of the squadrons. Playing with cavalry is dodgy in woods at the best of times. But I wanted just to get my leader there, so Hobe is there, and they joined up with another squadron. So if he does push forward, I got the advantage. It's not very realistic charging into woods, but I'm happy with that. I'm just not about taking numbers here. First Corps finally left that little position at the crossroads just north of the woods, and they're going to be replaced with scouts, cavalry scouts that are going to have a look at these roads coming up and cover these roads. First Corps themselves, they're getting up slowly but surely through Fleurus and up here, getting organised eventually. So we've got 2nd Westphalian, 4th Brandenburger, some more 4th Brandenburgers there, some Landwehr, more Landwehr, 2nd Burgisches, and some more Landwehr coming up. So it's a bit chaotic, but we'll get there and we will organise them all. 3rd Corps up on the march. Slow. We're getting there. The end are coming to Fleurus. Elements of 2nd Corps, they're up at St. Martin. Only thing here is that I have, you may or may not know, I've dispatched Gneisenau. And a lot of people think Blucher was actually, well, he was in overall charge. I won't deny that he wasn't. However, Gneisenau was Quartermaster General, so he did most of the grunt work and got everybody into position, issuing orders and things like that, which just Blucher was in overall control. So Gneisenau basically is going to go up towards Marbay. He's going to establish his headquarters at Marbay, and nominal control of the 2nd and 3rd Corps are going to be under Gneisenau. That's my plan. I could write a dispatch, but they were in the same the same hex for as long, so they would have talked to each other. Because Blucher is going to have to go up and meet Wellington at Genappe at some point. I haven't got confirmation that we're going to meet at Genappe actually, but he's going to go up there unless we hear anything different. And Gneisenau will take control of 2nd and 3rd Corps. No, not that he needs to do anything. I can't see anything happening today on the 15th, possibly 16th. And we'll need him there. Anyway, okay, so what's that? That's elements of 2nd Corps. My reserve cavalry. I need a good place for them. And I was thinking somewhere out of the way, behind this high ground. If I'm going to be defending this area, it'd be nice to have my cavalry out of sight somewhere. So maybe not enough space there. Maybe somewhere here, where there's nice a little bit of space that we can sort of hide that reserve cavalry. I've got the Allies on my right hand side. I know that without knowing that, if that makes sense. Possibly might have to have some cavalry to protect my left wing to allow and to protect sort of von Bülow's approach when he does appear. There's some good cavalry ground, which is not around here. Up here is a little bit north. I'll have a think. I might just go with 2nd and 3rd Corps cavalry massed, especially against French cavalry, which is always more numerous and, to be honest, better. Pound for pound, it's much better cavalry. And to give myself a chance, I would say I need to have mass cavalry. I think that's the only chance I'll have against his cavalry. Safety in numbers, that's what the plan is around here, and defending here, and I would say the Allies would be inclined to do it, unless he's got a completely different plan. What might he have? Let's see, now I don't want to expose his units that I don't know there. However, I should have an idea of the ground. It's not bad over there, it's rough going. Yeah, I don't want to creep too far over. I do have my planner map. I've actually got a planner map up on the wall. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Right, so what I have to do is, what I did remember, is that these two messages to the Prince of Orange and the Duke of Cumberland to tell them this will be the end of turn 30, so I can send them the end of this turn. So I will write up some quick dispatches. They won't be quite like the ones going to Wellington. However, they will be sort of small handwritten sketches, but I'll show you in a second what I'm going to do with them. And order-wise, nothing much. However, I will declare that Blucher told Gneisenau that when you get to Marbay and take command, then your corps commanders are to take up a defensive position south of Marbay. So I'm not writing that down, just because it's going to save me 15 minutes work to get it all official. However, that is the plan. So Gneisenau is coming with orders from Blucher to get this defensive position set up down here as best as he sees fit. That's the plan. And set up headquarters in Marbay. Okay. So I'll show you these messages quick, and that will be the end of the turn, and we'll go through the little diary review, and then we'll send the turn off. I did two dispatches there. So one was to Prince William of Orange, And that was going to, where is he now? Let's have a quick look here, just make it easier. He's up in Theo, up that end somewhere, and that was from Boza, just to say that he's arrived and what he's basically doing. And that reads, My Lord and Grace Prince William, I write to inform you of my orders from my commander, as my scouts have stated that they have made contact with elements of your forces to the southeast of Theo. Field Marshal Blucher has informed me to take up a position in order to await his arrival with the remainder of 2nd Corps and the 3rd Corps. I have under my command a small force and intend to take up a defensive position to the east of the woods at Bois de Hut, and to await further orders. I believe my commander and the Field Marshal are still... The commander and the Field Marshal are presently at Ligny. Oh, I meant Pirsch. Okay. Do you have any information pertaining to the disposition of the French or of your forces, my lord? Godspeed, my lord. GM Boza, 3rd Corps, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The next one was from Zeaton, and he's down here. At Lume stroke Gossiel to Duke of Cumberland. So he had a bit of a longer one to go. Just to tell him what he's doing there as well. And where's that gone? Okay. Duke of Cumberland, Commander Hanoverian Cavalry, 1715, 15th of June. I hope that this hastily compiled note finds you well, sir. It is with honour I find my forces next to yours, but I must bring to you news of the French advance. I have ordered my corps to march to the town of Melee upon the orders of Field Marshal Blucher in order to regroup and take up a defensive position in order to engage the French. My corps have been engaged by the French all day and are disorganised and have had to fall back after the French have taken the town of Châtelet and Charleroi. They advanced north behind us, and I do firmly believe that this is a major thrust along this route of advance, which I do. I shall inform you of any change in my present situation, sir, but please take heed, as the French are in force to the south. I myself am presently at Gossiel, arranging a rearguard action in order to allow my forces to march on Melee. General Lieutenant Zeaton, Commander 1st Corps. Now, I've told them where they are, just in case he wants to send a message back. That's the plan. So I'll send them off to him, just so he's got an idea. I mean, I would have seen these guys now. I mean, they're less than a kilometre away. So it's safe to say, and we can identify units as well. Hanoverian Cavalry, Prince Regent. C quality, so it's not the best. And they all seem to be on the march north, which is going up past me. Stop. Help me. So he's got a lot of cavalry up there. You've got the Belgians, some horse artillery. Okay, we wouldn't have seen them. And up here, we just about, I would say, see these elements. But anyway, he's going to find out what we're doing, and then that might influence him a little bit. Can't say as to what extent until we actually meet and get stuff back. The last thing to do then is have a little review of the last 10 turns. Just a quick look at the diary then, just to recap on that, those last 10 turns and everything that we've done. So, where do we get to? We got to 1530. French are ever increasing in their numbers, isn't that true, around Charleroi and Châtelet, and continue to push our forces back. 1545, 3rd Corps continue to march to the north of the town of Marbais, as well as elements of the 2nd Corps that are present around the area, that's sort of general area. Overhead, Blucher and Nyes are now discussing the topography of the area to the south of Marbais, while standing over a large map of Belgium. 1600, I can hear the ever-increasing sound of gunfire towards Châtelet. I have heard the news that 2nd and 3rd Corps are fit and at full strength and are making good progress on their march to the north. Zeaton is going to have to delay the French in order for our forces, to give the other forces the time, should I say, to gather and form into a defensive position. There are rumours circulating that Allied cavalry have been sighted to the east. Should be west. Loads of mistakes. I did this in a hurry. Although nothing has been confirmed as of yet. 1615. I have heard that Zeaton himself has come close to the French forces at Solillemont, and that some brave Landwehr cavalry and a detachment of pioneers have formed a makeshift defensive position at the river to the south in order for him to make good his escape and to allow the valuable guns of the 2nd and 10th batteries to escape to fight another day. The sound of fighting is more sporadic now, but that may not be a good thing. So that was that small action at Solillemont when Zeaton was there, and they basically got overwhelmed by dragoons, and some pioneers and some burgesses actually stayed there just to allow the guns and Zeaton to escape up the road. 1630, a staff officer informs me that elements of 2nd Corps have actually reached Marbais by now, by his calculations. We have watched Tielemann's Corps march past us all day on their way northwards. The elements of 1st Corps stationed at Fleurus are on the move. now on their way to melee. Large numbers of French cavalry are in pursuit of our own First Corps cavalry to the northwest of Charleroi, although there have been no major cavalry engagements reported. 1645. I have ridden to Soliamont and have witnessed a brave rearguard action by the Landwehr cavalry, a small unit of pioneers with some 1st Bergische Fusiliers who have held their ground against a large amount of French dragoons, a most valiant effort as they were outnumbered by at least 3 to 1. I passed General Major Jagau, who was holding a defensive position with elements of the 3rd Westphalian Landwehr at the crossroads to the south of Fleurus, just north of the woods there. 1700 in the evening. The French are really present in force north of Charleroi. Their cavalry is making easy work of any isolated or disrupted units we have. It does not look like a rout though, it is still a withdrawal for the time being. The 7th Battery were charged by some high ground by some chasseurs cheval of the guard, and the cowards ran from their guns, leaving 8 valuable artillery pieces to the enemy, which they did. And they're there, and they're still uncrewed. 1715. I've heard that 3rd Corps are also approaching Marbais. There is numerous whispers that Allied forces have been sighted towards Cottrebras and the old Roman road from Mons. There is no news at this time as to the strength of the Allied forces. By all accounts, Wellington is still in Brussels. Elements of 1st Corps have reached Melee after their march from Fleurus. 1730. The rumours of the Allies have been confirmed. The Duke of Cumberland has been sighted with a large formation of Hanoverian cavalry to the west of Melee, and the Prince of Orange is noted to be at Gemiancourt. The French continue to play a game of cat and mouse with their cavalry and our own under Zieten. Until now, no major engagement has been witnessed, and they may make it back to safety as Zieten has ordered a small rear guard to stand at Lumey in order to protect our troops who are attempting to march to Melee. So yeah, that's that cavalry cat and mouse game on the west. 2nd and 3rd Corps have started to take up defensive positions south of Marbais. Blucher has dispatched Gneisenau to take command there and oversee this position. Contact has been made with the Allies in the area to inform them of our intentions. Zieten's corps continue northwards, ever pursued by the French, but they are still in good order. There are reports of French cavalry in the woods south of Fleurus. So that's about where we are. Not a lot happened in those 10 turns. It's sort of just all going as it was, and yeah, until we get to that defensive position and see what the French are doing, it's all going to be like this little sporadic bits and a lot of marching. So I promise it will get more exciting. So that's kind of how we were at the end of turn 20. French advancing up towards Charleroi. Pretty much they got to Charleroi and Châtelet. We did know that there were some British around, and then that elements of 2nd Corps, well, we knew they were there in the northeast. However, they sort of got into the theatre of operations after that march. And it was just a case then of French pushing us more and more north, or pushing Zieten more and more north. Pirsch, Blucher and Gneisenau, they sort of stayed at Fleurus, but all of this time Tielemans' 3rd Corps were marching up to the north, sort of bypassing Fleurus and going to go on that Maisy road up towards Marbais, as well as those elements of 2nd Corps. French just continued to push us back. We knew there were some more allies sort of down that area somewhere without actually knowing who, what, when, where and why. And then, yeah, we're starting to get a build-up of force, slowly but surely. But all this time, 1st Corps getting pushed back. Elements of 2nd Corps also appeared on the east of the map. They're marching up northwards. And elements of 2nd Corps, as we said up there, they got separated because of the marching with disordered units and with supply wagons and things like that getting in the way. And that's kind of where we're at the minute. We got a lot of units up there towards Marbais finally, and Zieten's corps, it looks a bit strong on paper there, I would say a little bit. But the French, and I would say the French are a little bit weak there on the map at the minute, so there's a lot more of them. The plan is, for the next 10 turns or so anyway, until evening certainly, get a defensive line sort of south of Marbais. 1st Corps, try and get them into a defensive line, hopefully in the evening, and the French aren't going to do anything tonight, hopefully. There is no night combat, as I might have mentioned. It's one of our house rules, no night combat. You can sort your lines out, but you're not allowed to gain any ground, if that makes sense. You can't sort of take up and a new offensive position if you're going to gain half the map, sort of thing. So that's what we've agreed, and that's what we're going to do. Made contact with the British there, up towards sort of southeast of Quatre Bras, and also towards Ransar and up that area. And that's where we go. That's what we got.